Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gurzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gurzon.
What's up?
Also with us, as always, the Destroyer, and then Titan and Brajol. So, haven't really been counting, but I believe someone said we are at the end of the 13th week of this lockdown.
It's been about 3 months.
Yeah. And still don't have an official phase that gyms have been placed into in the state of New York, but I will make this very clear because I'm going to do what I'm about to say is based on what I've read on the actual government website for the state of New York, not any, assumptions or, between the lines stuff that people have been blogging about or even putting on their news sites, okay? So, Phase 3 allows the reopening of the hospitality industry, specifically hotels. And it's allowing hotels to do more than just room people. So, hotels never shut down for that reason. They were allowed to only room people. Once Phase 3 begins in the state of New York, it's been stated that the hospitality industry can then open up all their amenities, meaning the restaurants, spas, and gyms within hotels. So with that being said, we've officially decided to reopen Overdrive Fitness at the beginning of Phase 3. If you're going to tell me that legally, and I mean we could even dive deeper into the word what's legal and what's not right now, but according to the state mandate, if you're going to allow a hotel to open, then fuck it, we're going to open. And it's just that simple because, you know what, at this point, this would be a great moment for Destroyer to put, what's his name, Stan Marsh's dad saying, "I'm sorry, I thought this was America." Throw that right into this podcast and, we'd like to have our freedom of choice back to operate safely and logically and, under our discretion, which we've always been doing, safely at least. And, why not just give us the shot as a business owner to do it? I mean, it is a free enterprise, last I checked. So
Last I checked, we still owe our taxes, regardless of what's going on. So they still want their money. So we have to make money in order to give that money back.
Yeah. Unlike the government, we don't have the ability to just print money. So we have to figure out how to generate it to give them the 50 million different taxes that we have to pay a year. So, that's where we are with that as far as the reopening. So you could put that in your pipe and smoke it. Moving on, we just wrapped up another virtual charity workout. It was great.
Desi did all the hard work today.
Who?
Destroyer did all the hard work today.
Destroyed all the hard work today.
He and Coach Frank, again, made it look easy. No sweat along the brow. Just chilling in the back, doing their thing. Always. The confidence is there. This is good.
They were pampered with a nice, consistent breeze.
Yeah, it's beautiful today. This is gorgeous. 75, breezy, sunny, no humidity.
It's perfect.
Perfect time to reopen Overdrive.
So, also in reopening, given the current circumstances of like the fact that we were all locked down for a pandemic, a virus that ransacked the entire world, it would be foolish for anybody to reopen, which is why the states have these plans, but to reopen immediately back to normal. So, going along with that theme, we believe that it's important for us to tell everybody, not even just our members, but in general, with things slowly reopening, you should apply that to working out as well. So a lot of people have gone at least 3 months without working out. And knowing that cardiovascular disease is the number one killer of Americans, I guess you could say it's safe to say that most people before the lockdown weren't really in shape to begin with. So couple that with staying cooped up in your house and moving half as much as what you normally would in your sedentary life. Don't just, when gyms reopen, don't just head right in there and go all out as if you're trying to join the Titan games next week or something. So The Rock will not be impressed.
Tighten up.
That shit. Tighten up. New shirt.
Tighten up.
So yeah, I mean, like, how many
Hashtag
people? How many
tighten
people?
up.
How many people always they just join gyms and they just they go all out in the first week and they burn out. Like right now, it's gonna be even. I think it's safe to say you're gonna see a lot of people try to do that, except at a higher rate and a faster burnout rate. If I had to place money on it,
It's kind of like every January with all the huge Globo gyms, all the guilty people who've been gorging over how many months or how many years finally say, all right, I'm going to join a gym in January. They join the gym. Within that first month, the first 2 weeks, they fall off. The gym still has their credit card, takes their money every month, and they maybe show up once a week if they do. So
yeah.
you got to do it right.
Don't be afraid to hire help too. This may be news to some people, but a lot of health clubs are actually designed for you to not show up. They're just there to collect your money. They actually make it convenient for you to not show up, which is why a lot of them come with zero accountability, and they're just happy for their $10, $30, $60 a month. So don't be that fool to just piss money away.
He's getting comfortable.
Yeah, anyone that has a visual of what's going on right now, Titan and Brejol have been gifted with some new cots to replace their really hot beds.
Cooling cots.
They're cooling cots.
Yes.
You can actually put a little water in them to keep your canines cool.
I like it. Titan's preferring the turf today.
Mm-hmm.
Raj is not sure what he wants to do.
He's trying to scratch up a scent, circling around, make sure he covers every corner.
They have to find like the perfect spot,
There we go. And we're good.
He's trying to get closer to Desi.
Yeah, he wants to help out.
Destroyer, update us on your running mileage and your jump shot.
I only got 26 miles in this week, so it's a
0.2 shy of a marathon.
Yeah, low week. Because I got some strength training in, helping Aiden move the last of his stuff out of his dorm from Yale.
A lot of deadlifting.
Yeah.
And cleaning.
Yep.
Push
Mattresses
pressing.
and fragile things. So that was helpful. And then the jump shot actually looked pretty good this week.
Nice.
If I'm being completely honest about it. I was hitting a pretty high percentage of it. Not nearly as rusty as it's been, so I think I'm ready for the NBA to start up.
Have faith in you,
in
Desi.
July. I plan to be there.
And that's replacing the player.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain players that are saying that they're not going to come, so
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Every team could use a solid role player.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to do right now.
Hey, you'll take the paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
You're doing it for love.
Come on.
Love of the game.
Yeah.
a little limelight, 15 minutes of fame,
Yeah.
little chump change in the bank.
Yeah. No harm done.
Hey now.
Yeah.
You should set a goal of when you get your 10-day replacement NBA contract to only score 19 points a game. And then every time, as soon as you drop that 19th point, you leave that hand in the air. And you just yell COVID, just to remind people that you were here.
That's why we're here.
To make a strong impact. Okay, I guess Titan is joining us on the couch.
Go ahead.
Is he going to co-host this episode?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe he'll speak.
I'll just squeeze. I'll sit on top of Titan. I'm gonna sit right here. Is that okay, Titan? I'm gonna move your leg.
We haven't
You know
had
what?
a
I'm
guest in
gonna
a
bring a chair.
while.
I'm good. Get the other bench. I got it.
Podcast hasn't had a guest in a little bit, so
Yeah, we have not had a guest in a while, so I guess we should have plugged in a fourth mic for Titan.
yeah.
You definitely would have needed a pop filter.
And licensed massage therapy, specifically licensed massage therapy, was just added into phase 3. And as everybody knows, I am a licensed massage therapist, so we will definitely need to be opening by then as phase 3. And I know that the first 5 of like the Finger Lakes region, Mohawk County, or whatever, there's the top 5 regions, their phase 3 just started on the 12th. So
Yeah, ours is due for what, the 22nd?
For phase
For
3?
phase 3, right?
Oh, I didn't see an official date yet.
I thought it was like a
I
2-week
just
thing.
assumed it was every 2 weeks, unless there was a setback.
Right.
So, I mean, we're finishing the first week right now of phase 2, so I assumed it would have been, phase 3 would have been a week from Tuesday, which would be a week from the date of the drop of this podcast. So, what was that, 23rd, that's a Tuesday, right? So, I'm assuming June 23rd, reopening. If they say June 23rd is the official reopening for phase 3 in the Mid-Hudson region, our doors are open.
mm-hmm.
That's it. End of story.
Well, by the 25th, that's when Cuomo said that gatherings of up to 150 people, graduations and such, would be allowed.
Yeah, June 26th.
So, because I know that, right, Tappan Zee, there are graduations scheduled, so I think
Yeah, so, like, I think Nyack is doing it in, or North. One of those schools I read is going to be, they're splitting it into, like, 3 or 4 days.
Right.
So they can accommodate up to 100 people.
I think Tappan Zee, I think they originally had it scheduled for the 25th or the 24th, so I think they moved it to whatever day
They
was
had
the
to
first
push it
day.
back, yeah.
So they moved it one day over. So it's coming up. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Titan?
I think Titan's tired of an empty gym with no traffic.
Yep. Talk about serious withdrawal. The dogs have not been happy about not seeing everybody. I think they got a little depressed.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Well, that's going to change.
I know, just checking in with our members and our athletes, everybody's just aching to come back. Aching.
So, Titan, you ready to have everybody back? This past week was pretty hot, to say the least. Today was beautiful. And then, I mean, hey, we are in June, so it's nothing new. I guess, I mean, if it were to snow in June, that would be the most 2020 thing we could experience.
Yeah.
That would be a first,
Wouldn't
What?
be surprised though.
right? There's no snow on record ever, right? There's no world like snow like a record, like, you know how I think we've had.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, weather's definitely changed.
Yeah.
The murder hornets will bring a blizzard.
It was pretty sweaty and hot in here this past week. The days, Monday, I think it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
was like
Yeah, I think Wednesday
pretty
was
gross on the
crazy.
live stream. Like, it was.
Yeah.
Jungle.
I needed chalk. I should have grabbed some chalk. Wiping my
Yeah.
hands off. Dumbbells want to slip out of your hand. It was like clothes sticking to you. It was pretty bad. I mean, but hey, that's part of working out.
But yeah, so with some of our online members, actually, we've actually run into a common issue with them, considering in respect to the weather right now, and that's the improper or poor hydration. So, just to remind people, we always start off simple when it comes to hydrating. And I know Gina tells all her nutrition clients this. We tell all our athletes this. We tell all our weekday warriors this. The very least, take your body weight, cut it in half, and that's a number associated with ounces of water you should be consuming. And that doesn't include, Gatorade, juice, coffee, soda, because we get those questions too. They're like, well, I make my coffee with water, so that counts, right? Just try to make sure you get enough water. Easy math. If you're 200 pounds, 200 divided by 2 is 100. You should be having a minimum 100 ounces of water. Simple math. Now, the formula we like to use also was at least taught to me through the state in New York during the heat clinics. So you would attend a heat clinic if you're going to coach a sport in the fall or a spring. So, and the formula they like to use is what we've been telling everybody for years. It's just simply half your body weight plus an extra ounce per degree over 65 degrees outside. So let's say it's 75 degrees and you're 200 pounds. You take 100 and you add the difference of 10, so that's 110. 110 ounces. Simple.
And I also like to remind people to use their urine color. I know we're getting a little specific, but your urine color should not be dark brown like iced tea. When you go to use the restroom, it should look the color of maybe like a watery, like diluted lemonade, slightly, more diluted than that. And, your urine shouldn't be totally clear either, because, we need those specific electrolytes to keep our bodies functioning properly, to keep our heart contracting properly, our muscles, which your heart is a muscle, your muscles from cramping, your brain from functioning. People are normally between, depending on the gender, if I could say that, male or female, the height, the weight, the environment, things going on, about 50 to 60% water inside and outside the cell, organs, muscles, and such. So when we think about that, and the weather does start to get warmer and people are just drinking coffee or caffeinated beverages, pre-workout, things like that, they're not getting their fruits and vegetables in. Maybe they're just eating a burger with fries and they didn't have breakfast. And, the good foods will help to hydrate you a little bit too. But as it starts to get warmer, research does show as little as a 1% dehydration rate can really impair. Doesn't mean if you're an athlete, could be an athlete or a non-athlete, just general population, people who are getting on their daily runs every day, getting their workouts in several days a week. That 1% drop will cause fatigue, nausea, headaches, dizziness, disorientation, muscle weakness, spasming, cramping, and the list can go on. So if we want to function well, and in regards to our performance as an athlete or not, just performance in general, we want our brain to function right. We want to be able to do our job, as most of us will be going back to work soon, if not already. So that 1% drop in hydration is actually quite large. Anything over that can cause some very serious problems. And unfortunately, these things do happen. So, drink up, guys.
Is there any validity to that, 8 glasses a day thing?
What I like to do too is I have, just clients that I work with, when we discuss hydration, and then they might use one of those, say, those 16-ounce, the individual bottles of, like you have, Desi,
right.
Something like this of water. Well, I might drink 2 or 3 of those in a day. So if that's 16 ounces, I'll even kind of coax them, say, okay, well, maybe this week let's try to add 1 in, and then the week after maybe we'll try to add 2 in a day. So I have them slowly work up to, so if you have somebody who's maybe 150 pounds and they're only used to drinking 30 ounces in a day,
Right.
and say the goal would be 75 ounces, to go from 30 to 75, they're running to the bathroom. Right? And when we lose that water, when we urinate, when we use, and we do other things in the bathroom. So when we use the facilities, our sweat, our respiration, inhaling and exhaling, the environment, so whether it's humid or dry, so like all of those things play a part. So I just have them, just add that little bit in a day. I think for men and women, I think it's, I think they try to focus on about, it's about 10 to 11, I think. 10 to 11 cups or 8-ounce glasses. I think that's the recommendation for right now. And again, it's constantly changing. But just by going, if we use that half the body weight in ounces, what, you had something to say, Ted?
No, just be careful with that, because it was picking up the distortion.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. So, okay.
No, what were you saying? The amount of water you're drinking.
Half our body weight in ounces, about 10 to 12 cups a day. That's basically what the research shows right now. But again, it's constantly changing. So we shouldn't be ravenously thirsty. That's definitely a marker. Your urine should not be the color of iced tea. It should be, the color of a diluted lemonade. Use your body and the gauges in your body and what your body gives you as a guide. Your skin should definitely bounce back when you pinch it. It should not hold its shape. That's another indicator of dehydration. And I know they use that in the medical field all the time, out on the fields for athletes too, the ATCs and such. But if your body temperature is rising and it's hot out and you're working out outdoors, or if you're uncomfortably warm and you're just starting to exercise, that's definitely an indicator of some dehydration. So, sipping on your beverage during your workout, constantly sipping, don't gulp. I always say to sip, don't gulp it. So constantly sip on it. And just getting in your fruits and your vegetables, being mindful of the types of food you're eating. And you should be just, hydrating throughout the day. Try to work towards that half your body weight in ounces. And again, that would definitely, depending upon if you train once a day or more, the environment that you're in, the duration of your exercise, the temperature, and all of those things play a huge part. I always try to remind my clients to season and salt their food. Sodium chloride, all the electrolytes are extremely beneficial and important to stay functioning well. So,
what are the 2 easy ways we tell people to combat the rapid loss of water that they're consuming? So like people,
salt.
Yeah, salt.
Salt is, I always tell people to season and salt their food. People are so afraid of carbs and sodium. Those 2 things are actually what keep you hydrated. You need to eat carbohydrates in order for your body to pull the water into the tissue, and that's what keeps you actually looking fuller and allows your muscles to show. When you do not eat carbohydrates and you do not consume sodium or salt, that your body will actually release that. You're telling your body to let it go. So when people go on these crazy no carb diets and high protein, ketogenic, things like that, if that's their choice, they want to do those things, that's fine. But in regards to training the way we train here, if you're training for strength, for hypertrophy, as an athlete, you need carbohydrates and you need to season and salt your food. You need to make sure that you're getting that sodium per day. It's very, very important. I believe it's for every 3 grams, right? It's 1 gram of water. So for every 3 grams, 3 to 4, I think it's like there's like a balance there. So 3 to 4 grams of carbohydrate will hold 1 gram of water in the tissue. So when we're not eating carbohydrates and we're not hydrating well, your body, it's literally like squeezing out the sponge. It's dry. It'll turn dry and cracked and dry. Like it's not a good scene.
So yeah, definitely drink your water, eat your carbs, and salt your food. You'll be fine. We like to keep everything simple. So, I mean, just, you don't need to overcomplicate that. If you're struggling with that, we have nothing to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you. Obviously many people they're so concerned about the number on the scale, they'll do anything to just drop any type of weight. So the first thing they'll try to shed is like water weight. Well, the second you actually start drinking water again or put salt back in your diet, we see it in a lot of people, they just get skinny fat. So they'll get that bloated round face on a unhealthy looking body, frail body. So that's something we want to also avoid. Don't fight to get that specific number on the scale if you're gonna sacrifice feeling healthy. That's it's never healthy.
Well, we always preach sustainability, so
Exactly.
we want people to take the knowledge that they gain here and allow it to carry them through. So those things are not sustainable. Those are like the crash diets, or they'll lose the 30 pounds in 30 days kind of thing, and then what happens after the 30 days? You want it to be sustainable. Or the person who heads to the gym for the first 2 weeks of the month and then they're done. It has to be sustainable. Something that you can do how many days a week comfortably, and it's sustainable over time. Shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be, what's the word I'm looking for? Aggressively ridiculous. Unless you've been guided by a medical professional and there's a specific issue that you guys are working on, then that's a totally different story. But for general population, the mainstream, no.
I think it's safe to say, phase 3, if it does begin June 23rd, the end of June and all of July will be, I guess you could call it January 2.0 for the year 2020. I anticipate gyms getting crazy busy with absurdity and idiots galore. So I expect to see a lot more gym fail videos in the next few weeks. And it'll be awesome because we'll see a lot more people working out with the altitude mask. So they're
That's
trying
the
to keep
stupidest
themselves
thing.
keep themselves safe. I had something else on my mind I totally forgot, but whatever. So, anything else you guys wanted to cover this week?
No, what do you want to talk about?
I don't remember. I think it was regarding Destroyer. I mean, clearly you guys can see I dropped the ball on our weekly segment, which we only started last week, of, these two bros trying out some bourbon and whiskey. But we'd love a recommendation for next week, unless, Destroyer, you have anything on your mind that you'd like to try.
No, I'm open to anything.
Did anybody send you a recommendation? Did anybody
No.
email a recommendation?
But I think one recommendation should be that next episode you have to try it through an ice luge.
Me?
Yeah, that's what somebody DM'd us.
Shut up. Seriously?
No, not yet. But I'll make sure somebody DMs us that. So we
I
can
mean,
make that happen.
I'll just DM you guys.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe one of the athletes said that or something. I mean...
Actually, I believe it was Mary Holt Lombardo.
Party animal.
Yeah. Actually, that's her right now, backing in the truck with the ice luge.
We're here! Is Gina ready? my God.
Babes and bourbon. Ice illusion away. So, I mean, this lockdown's coming to an end. We are super pumped to be opening again soon. Can't wait to see everyone's faces. Can't wait to get people their gains back.
I think Braj and Titan will be tackling everybody one at a time as they walk through the door.
Braj will definitely be very vocal to everybody coming in.
Belly rubs and all. A lot of barking. I'm sure lots of... Well, I don't know if we're allowed to... Are we allowed to hug at this point?
I mean, if we're not allowed to hug,
Through
fine,
phase
but
3? I don't know.
if you neglect...
Can we fist bump?
Yeah.
Can we pounds?
if we don't hug or pound or anything like that, fist bump, high five, kid and play, foot handshake, then if you neglect saying hi to Titan and Brejol, we will terminate your contract. That's a big no-no. You must show them respect.
Well,
Kneel before your master.
Yeah. How can you ignore them? They're just so cute.
I don't know. There's assholes everywhere.
Not in our gym.
No.
We got some pretty awesome people.
Yes.
Sha-
I'm the asshole.
Yeah. Teddy will take the cake on that one. He likes to do that job, and he'll do my job of that job for both of us.
I'm very good at it, guys. So that just about wraps up this week of Overdrive AF. We welcome any of your comments, questions, concerns, topics that you want us to speak about. Like, again, we cannot wait to see you guys again in person. Those of you that are continuing to train with us online, that will not stop. Overdrive home workouts is a movement that will continue. So, we can't wait to keep and continue changing lives in person and online.
I got to give another shout out to Jeff Shalom real quick. 25 pounds down, and running with it literally and figuratively. He's getting ready for his virtual half marathon in 13 days, 12 or 13 days, and he's like freaking psyched about this weight loss. I think this is like college numbers.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So, I mean, props to him. Props to all the nutritional clients that I've been working with through this whole quarantine. You guys know who you are. But it's amazing. Just you guys give everybody else hope too. The success that you have been creating and continuing and carrying on your shoulders, like, this is awesome. It's doable. It's showing people that, limits have been put on everybody. The quarantine has held a lot of people back in a sense, and you guys have been really persistent and working through working through these I guess suggestions and recommendations to keep everybody safe is kind of put a damper in a sense. People have lost motivation, but you guys have really, really kicked it up a notch and been really creative on the live streams, doing the replays, getting your running in, getting your walking in, getting 2 training sessions in a day, strength training that we've been sending clients who have equipment at home, making do with what you have. So if you guys can do it through this, literally you can do it through anything. So let's use that motivation going forward. I mean, I have a feeling this summer is going to be great once the reopening continues, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Yes. And non-members, keep your eyes out open for any new member specials, because we are here to jumpstart the transformation in your body. All right. So that wraps up this week. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Bye, guys.